Should be good. Paparazzi plays Amin Terrorblade. Abaddon picked up for Keen Gaming. That should be in the 5 spot. I believe it's been played in every time it's been picked up so far in this regional qualifier.
10 seconds remaining.
And the Nyx Assassin 4.
It's pretty much his claim to fame is spamming his entire mana pool and HP pool on Mist Coil, dying, coming back, doing it again. In the OG series that I cast, I think No-Tail got a high score of 6 kills on himself on Abaddon in the laning phase. So it is something that will most likely be looked at by iStrong because it is a little bit ridiculous. At the end of the day, you still have an Abaddon, which is not a very high tier hero. It seems these days people aren't enthusiastic about the new Curse of Avernus passive. It's more just the Aphotic Shield and the Mist Coil that's having him be so useful. But it's pretty dumb, the fact that he can just, use his HP and mana as a free resource for the lane partner that he goes to lane with.
Ooh, an Underlord picked up here for King Gaming. Saw it once yesterday. I believe it won. It was successful early, especially with... I think I saw it with an Nyx Assassin. I'm going to have to check the previous games, but it had a lot of permanent damage from the Atrophy Aura early on.
5 seconds remaining.
And it was just able to snowball with the rest of the team very quickly. So here with the Nyx Assassin and having the Abaddon, very tanky offlaner who does like picking up those aura items and those sustain items.
Yeah, and they have a lot of magic damage to be able to burn through these conjure images. You got Firestorm, Mystic Snake, Aphotic Shield explosions. So this Terrorblade has his work cut out for him. On the flip side, though, picking up an Underlord also means that you give Terrorblade a really great reflection illusion because you can create your own atrophy aura for a temporary period of time. So does have some downsides, but I like Underlord. I think he's really good. I think especially with Rod being such a popular item also, it's really irritating to get pitted and then rodded and then pitted again. It's infuriating.
Yeah, the Rod of Atos picked up on a couple of these heroes that have been more picked up in the meta. It's just like, what do you do? Being rooted and then just, stunned and then Pit of Malice coming in. It's so hard to get away from that.
It got nerfed ever so slightly, but I don't think iSpark wants to nerf it too much because some of the heroes who rely on it will then be useless. I know Skywrath got like a very slight buff in what I'm considering to be in exchange for the Rod nerfs, because basically the most significant one is the range got nerfed on Rod, and I think the cooldown also got nerfed by like 2 seconds, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It's mainly about the range. It was just too free of initiation for people to just pick up a Rod and not have to be like, oh, nice, anyone got a skill shot that they want to throw out? Let's do it.
I think the other day I saw it with a Mirana.
Oh, God.
And I don't think it was so even the Mirana who got the Rod of Atos. It was just like somebody else got it, set up the arrow. Like you preemptively were throwing the arrow in Rod of Atos, and it's
volleyball
just like
stuff. You set it, Mirana spikes it,
and then you're just dead. Just this long range arrow and no answer. And Ember
That's why
Spirit
I'm wondering
last.
when this core Pudge is going to become a thing. Pudge getting a lot of buffs. Rod is a super popular item. I think it could happen.
Stay away from my pubs, please. Rod of Atos, Pudge. Oh God, I just don't want to see it. And they've got the Ember though. That gives them more root. Oh, this Searing Chains are gonna be nice. The Sleight of Fist and Huskar comes in. It's always a thought with that Oracle.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. Man, that Ember is going to have a miserable time mid. I'm assuming it's going to be Ember mid. You could send the Deucem mid. Both of them are going to have a miserable time against this Huskar.
Yeah, this is...
Let's see what Keen want to do. Okay, we'll send Deucem mid.
You will be on the Medusa. They've got Ori on the Huskar, Paparazzi on the Terrorblade, Yang with the Offlane Brew, DY on the 5 Oracle, 4 position Shadow Shaman, Old Chicken with the Safe Lane Ember, Offlane Underlord for Old 11, Dark on the Abaddon, Kaka on the Nyx. That Abaddon cosmetic looks like the Kato cosmetic.
Yeah, it does, right? Those are evil antlers, though.
Not sure what makes them so evil.
Look at them, just menacingly. They should be more asymmetrical. I think. They are kind of asymmetrical. I think the one on the right is a little bit taller. Asymmetry is always very evil.
Not something I knew. I have to get everything symmetrical in my room, not give away my evil prowess.
Yeah. Feng Shui is very important.
Yeah, my room lacks that energy. I have like my bed stuffed in the corner. Not even in the middle of the room.
I have terrible energy in my room. I have blackout curtains. Literally never open it. I don't think sun has seen my carpet in years.
At least you're not fading the colors in the carpet or anything from the sun.
It's true. I am improving my resale value, but probably, some people are like, oh yeah, the sun improves my mood or whatever. For me, it's the opposite. I'm like, oh god, it burns me.
I feel like that. I you cast so late into the night sometimes. You're like, hey, is that the sun?
Yeah,
Is
and
that
you're like,
peeking
oh
through
god,
my-
is it that early?
Yeah.
Or that late, rather.
You're just like, oh, it's morning. Here we go. I'm glad this isn't the lag. Yeah, you would have been able to tell. That scared me for a second. The pause came in, and I was like, oh god.
I think we're good. I think we're lucky today.
Things are looking good. I've got a wood desk I can knock on just in case. So, is the Huskar going to be enough to open up space for the Terrorblade here? You think, which draft are you really leaning towards?
I have so much faith in Paparazzi's Terrorblade, I don't even think he needs the space, but a Huskar will absolutely give it to him against this Keen Gaming lineup. Really no one can deal with him. The mid lane should be fairly good for him. Medusa's probably the better choice than the Amber, just because she's a ranged hero. She doesn't necessarily have to get very close, but at the same time, a Huskar is more than willing to just stay on her side of the high ground and zone her out with Burning Spears. It's going to come down to how early Keen Gaming are, or how capable they are of dealing with the Huskar, because more often than not, I see people leave Paparazzi's Terrorblade alone, and that's a huge mistake. But at the same time, letting an Ori Huskar run rampant would also be a massive mistake. So Keen Gaming really need to know how to spread out their resources to take care of these two cores.
And Paparazzi will come over bottom. Kaka trying to disturb his bottom bounty rune area. This Paparazzi just hitting away, but eats the impale, eats a little bit of damage, not too bad. And over top, DY was able to grab the bounty rune as well as Yang, so they get 3 of the 4 to start this off. And it will be the Huskar against this Medusa, but right now Kaka coming over towards mid to disrupt this matchup. They spot him though with this ward.
I think this is a good idea. I don't know how long he'll stay here, but I think the idea is good.
Looks over at Ori.
So much base regen that he can gladly trade like this, and Shaman will join the party.
Brings back the days of the babysitting mid, but immediately Shadow Shaman goes back towards bottom. Kaka stays. So Ori needs to be a little bit careful with Kaka staying in the mid lane here with E.
I think it's great. Even if he goes back, part of the reason may be because, Terrorblade's always going to use meta on the first wave. What is an assassin really going to do in that situation? So might as well go mid and help out your Medusa early on. But also, if he wants to stick around even after TV's meta ends, I think it's absolutely worth it. Look at this Ori Huskar getting so heavily zoned out. Granted, he did go Berserker's Blood at 1, which is weird. I usually either see Inner Fire or Burning Spear always. Obviously, Inner Fire is great because you can disarm the enemy mid, prevent them from getting last hits, and Burning Spear for the harass. Taking Berserker Blood at 1 is so strange, and it's not really helping him very much, I don't think.
Now he finally goes into the Burning Spears. Meanwhile, the Abaddon had denied himself, as an Abaddon does.
Don't worry. That's going to be happening in plenty. Look, he's not even TPing to the lane because he's like, ah, my Ember's full HP. He doesn't need me that urgently. I can start miscoiling myself afterwards.
It really is such an interesting play with the Abaddon, just using that miscoil the way he does. But Kaka coming back, thinking try and land this impale, especially with the Mystic Snake hitting. Ori has been a little bit uncomfortable in this mid lane, only 5 into the 8 and 4 of the Medusa, but again, sharing that experience for Yi and the Nyx Assassin of Kaka. And we'll come back with a haste. So you think he's gone, he's gonna come right back.
They could get a kill. Mystic Snake is...
doesn't bounce the right way, but they have some damage. They look for the kill. They won't find it. Fade, meanwhile, bottom, getting the Underlord. And they're unable to get this kill over mid as First Blood falls bottom.
Wow, they kill him without meta. He must have been pretty low. And obviously Shackles, but still. Fade does have an early boot, so it's possible that he didn't expect a Shaman to come into range with Shackles so easily.
DY in trouble.
DY.
The Aphotic Shield is placed on DY, who's trying to run. Sleight of Fist, and
Yo, he didn't go
not
for
enough
it?
damage. And yeah, he has the Aphotic Shield. He definitely could have gone in there and I think get the kill on the DY. Meanwhile, the Terrorblade low, but Old 11 eating these Metamorphosis shots, and Fade a couple more right clicks and would get the kill, but the Impale is there from Kaka, who's rotated bottom to save his life. Or has he? He's trying to get the Ether Shock. It's only level 1 and will be enough damage. Just regens enough mana.
Everyone's getting abused. I'm surprised. Is also Old Chicken taking quite a bit of right clicks, but it's all good. Dark is getting ready to commit Sudoku, so it's all good. Old Chicken's back to 100% HP. DY is like, maybe I can get a right click before he denies himself.
Now we're Purifying Flames.
Yeah.
Worst thing in the world. With Searing Chains, Fortune's End, Miscoil comes out onto DY as the chase is on from Old Chicken onto the high ground. And he's
One more right click and Slight should do it.
getting chased, and nobody really here to help. Dark actually takes the kill. And then
Kaka
gives
gets in
his life to Old Chicken. Such a
They could
ridiculous
go
play.
Ori,
Radiant's bottom tower is
but
under
it's
attack.
entirely dependent on a Mystic Snake landing.
Yeah, Kaka laying in wait on this mid lane, and Mystic Snake does come around, so brings him down to about half
he's
health. The body
blocking.
blocks with the invis. Ori just unable to get away. Eventually will fall to Yi after the impale lands from the Nyx Assassin, and does a very good job of just body blocking that Huskar, keeping him in range of the Medusa, and getting that kill ultimately.
I'm thrilled with the way that Kaka's playing this. He's spending just the right amount of time in and out of lane that the Huskar is like, okay, he's gone now, I can come back. And then he comes back and he's like, great, well, now I need to leave again. So he's letting his Medusa get levels, so he's not like Medusa's only maybe half a level behind Huskar, despite it seeming like the Nyx Assassin is constantly babysitting her, and that's the sign of like a really strong support.
Well, over top, Yang trying to run away, but the Miscoil, it takes his own life, but it gets a kill in the end. A couple of denies with it, and also getting the kill onto the Brewmaster.
He protect, but he also attack.
It's the perfect meme for Abaddon right now.
Dire are scanning.
Oh my. So Dark backing off. Kaka, yeah, he's just staying nearby this mid lane. Staying nearby the Medusa, really. Like you said. Kind of being that sentinel for Yi. Who's cleaning up the stack.
As a result, Old 11 has to fend for himself, but I think it's the right idea. Medusa's going to be able to deal with a Terrorblade once, the game gets later and later. She cannot deal with the Huskar, so you're better off putting your resources in shutting down the Huskar than shutting down the Terrorblade. It's just, again, it's paparazzi Terrorblade, and time again at Dream League, people were like, we can deal with this Terrorblade, it's not that big of a deal, and paparazzi would just get way too big, way too fast.
We'll have to see if we see that in this game, as he has not spent that 6 point yet. Usually you hold on to it just in case you get into trouble, and you can use that Sunder.
Yeah, he can transition to the jungle if he wants to give his shaman a quick level 6, but I think he's enjoying this free lane way too much, so no real rush.
49-13, 7 minutes in. Sitting top of the net worth by 600 gold over the Medusa, who's doing okay, and Shrine's up. Cleaning up a couple of stacks that have been made by her supports, so you enjoying the free farm that is in here in the jungle. Nobody getting too aggressive from Vici to invade or put vision down over there. So very safe in her
DY
own jungle.
might be in a little bit of trouble. Purges off the.
Is he gonna go for it this time?
Shield.
She gets the sleight of fist, had the aphotic shield, the TP over from Fade, but the missed coil from Dark. Old Chicken sitting here constantly with like 66% health, and was able to go under that tower. He had the aphotic shield just in case, but sleight of fist to get the kill. So 42 in favor of Keen Gaming, and like you said, despite giving this easy lane to
the
Paparazzi,
Sunder.
the Sunder, and then the kill. With DY coming over with the Fortune's End, so Paparazzi, he welcomes the Underlord back with open arms.
What a thunder. He was getting so low from the Firestorm, and L11 was like, oh nice, this Nyx Assassin ends up denying himself to an ancient stack as DY, trying to get some vision down, hoping he can find out what this Medusa's up to, and Underlord is going to spot it, but DY should be able to get out. There's 0 points of Pit of Malice.
The question is, does he know where he warded, too?
Yeah, I mean, usually you're pretty safe just putting the sentry right on the shrine, and if he does, then he won't catch this observer, so we'll see where they want to do it. Although Medusa might be in trouble mid, as Shaman is so close, but so far.
Usually very hard early on to find those catches as a Shadow Shaman. Last
they
game,
do find the ward in the
they
jungle.
took it out very quickly, too.
Although another one did get posted up, but still, they get the more important one.
Ward placed there, and then Dark places a ward of his own.
Yo, where's Kaka's impale stacks at? What is this chaining? What is this leashing away the ancients? We have raised the bar for Nyx Assassin supporting. Roger has raised the bar. Kaka needs to step it up. Impale stacks only.
He's got the stack. He did impale the creeps. He's got it close. He's got a triple stack here for the ancients. This Medusa's gonna be happy. That's for sure. Is it come to the point where Vici are gonna have to contest, figure out like that they've got these ancient stacks and need to contest the Medusa?
Especially with the Terrorblade, who's more than capable of doing so. I'm sure the next time meta's up, which is in 40 seconds, they have to do something. Because even though they don't have the vision of it, they did, whenever Oracle was going on the warding mission, he saw the stacks. So they're well aware of what's happening. And they also have a vague idea that Medusa can't really take it at this stage. She just has 2 Wraith Bands. She can't really do it solo. It's absolutely in their best interest to contest it.
Fortune's in on the Nyx, but nothing to follow that up. Yang. Let's get the Primal Split, so these tools are becoming available here for Vici. Only level 4 for the Shadow Shaman. You know, it's, like I was saying, hard to get the Shackles when you don't have that Aether Lens and you don't have that extra 125 cast range. We saw that last game from the Nyx Assassin, or from the Shadow Shaman. Despite losing, to be able to Hex from that far and Shackle from that far in a game like this, where you've got the Terrorblade who can hit from this basically the same distance, is going to be a nice combination.
And they're looking at this Ancient being taken, but it looks like they're going to go for mid instead. Meta is up. It's just that, oh, Dark's not level 6 yet, so this should be fine. It's kind of fast, though. Oh, and he gets the deny.
So they give up the Ancient and they
I'm
don't
surprised that they're
get the
opting to push instead of contesting this Medusa. They see her. They see her doing this. And she's kind of low. Granted, she is underneath her shrine, so, you know, people can TP to help her. But, I don't know, like, they can't even take this tower very fast. Paparazzi's not willing to spend meta. And now he does. Wants to Sunder.
Yeah, Sunder's a little chicken. He just had to be a little bit careful just in case. They get the tower over mid. That should open up the map a little bit more for Vici on the Dire side. And it looks like they're transitioning the top. Yeah, they're transitioning in the top tier 1.
So I'm okay with that. Ultimately, I wanted him to take 2 objectives with a Metamorphosis transformation. And my idea was take the Ancients from the Medusa and then take mid tower, but he's doing mid tower and then top tower. That's fine. He knows that everyone TP to defend the mid tower. Yang has his primal split available, so no one's going to contest this. And yeah, 2 quick objectives taken by Paparazzi.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
And using that metamorphosis well. Still has it to farm a little
Yeah.
bit. He's up 1,400 net worth on the Medusa, despite Medusa getting that triple stack in the Ancients. His farm has been stellar, to say the least. 116 and
Dire's
14.
top tower is under attack.
And he's not stealing it from other people as well. Like, Fade was able to get a solo lane. He's hit level 6 on his Shadow Shaman. Oracle is getting a solo lane. He's about to hit level 6 and have access to False Promise. So, this is vintage Paparazzi movement.
Yeah, and by getting that false promise for the Oracle, might feel a little bit more comfortable to use Ori's tools at the moment on this Huskar, as we've seen him be very quiet, which is a bit surprising. Ori's a bit of a show, a showmaker with his mids.
Yeah,
He's
he
very
has the
flashy.
armlet, so he's ready to go in, but I guess it just goes down to how well that Paparazzi's farming that he doesn't feel the need to create a bunch of space. Although he
DY
is
on the
going
run.
bot to TP to save this Oracle.
Yeah, hoping to save the Oracle, who is level 6.
nice.
He's got the false promise, and we'll get the Ember to just remnant away. But he throws a remnant by the tier 1 tower, maybe looking to go back in. And they have Vendetta, so they might be looking to use that.
This is dangerous. Oracle is level 6, and they know that. And there's no situation in which you don't take False Promise at level 6 on an Oracle, so going on a Huskar is a very, very dangerous proposition. Even if they do have Vendetta available for the break.
Especially near the tower.
Oh, that smoke's not happening.
Immediately stopped by that Nyx. It was broken on the Oracle, but still there for the Huskar. But it looks like Ori's just going to stay over towards, in this bottom lane.
Oh, this Shaman is about to enter the danger zone.
Might be okay, or are you definitely
Triple
not?
Remnant for him?
He
Oh,
threw
I
on
guess
the
they won't
Serpent
fight.
Wards. And Yang is here, but nobody's sticking around close to the Serpent Wards for it to matter. And, yeah, Triple Remnant, they get the kill onto the Shadow Shaman.
I mean, I
But
guess
it
it was
cost
a
him a
good
bit.
call. They saw that the rest of the Vici Gaming squad was coming. They just needed to get that kill and back out as quickly as possible. Shaman was like, I'll put down the Serpent Wards. Surely we can get a fight going. But unfortunately, Yang has not had an opportunity to use his Primal Sword for anything. He'll see Old 11, but he will zoop out. And he has his Rod of Atos completed now.
He's got the rod, and this has been a quiet game. Only 5-3, 2,000 net worth lead for Vici. Both teams seeming a little hesitant to fight, but they also want to keep the map open for their position ones. With the Medusa moving around, farming the jungle, trying to get these stacks, and Terrorblade farming his lanes and finding himself a Manta style already, sitting at about 9,000 net worth. It's just been the fun
Yeah,
game.
except this game I have more faith in. Oh, as Kaka is walking inside of a sentry range, but it's out of range now. And he will be under true sight, but Huskar does not pursue. I have more faith in the Terrorblade than I did of the Alchemist in the previous
Yang.
game. Is now he's trying to get this bounty room. And he does.
Bounty, but he might even just primal split and look to fight. Doesn't
he didn't.
get the TPing out underward though.
Yeah. He doesn't cancel it with either of his cancels. Instead, they go for the next assassin.
We get Spike Carapace on multiple heroes. The Sleight of Fist Searing Chains comes through. Kaka surviving for now. The Purifying Flames and will ultimately die. Borrowed Time is popped, but that was a primal split that looked like it could have gotten more. It had a lot of potential and kind of fizzled out once they didn't get the TPing underward. They have the Hex on the Medusa with the Shackle Dark. The Aphotic Shield. And now the TP in from Ember.
Yeah, not the best use of a primal split, and hopefully they can get this bot tier 1.
Have to be careful. The
as a
Ember's
result,
taking a
although their
lot of
Hex-
damage, and they just clean up Dark, and it could be the Ember too. Sleight of Fist and the Remnant away just in time. Paparazzi was laying in the hurt.
Yeah, poor Fade. He was dying for the cause, and there was no cause to die for, as Ember just narrowly gets out.
5,000 net worth lead. Vici feeling very comfortable. Paparazzi feeling very comfortable. As I say that, over top, he's been stunned.
He
He's
does not
coming
have the
over.
mana for Sunder.
This
He has a
is Charlie
wand,
Dust-
though.
9 charges, too.
Sunder?
And there's the Sunder, but the Spike Carapace coming in. They've got Yang. He doesn't have Primal Split for another 54 seconds. DY does have the False Promise.
Scan whiffs. Nick Assassin manages to get a bounty rune that should have been taken a minute and a half ago, so Kaka's getting so much work done. And they're going for Roche? Ori going in for this. And I don't know if Nick Assassin suspects anything.
Oh, Courier spots
He's in-
Kaka.
Yeah, he sees the courier.
Dire are
And man, Ori is really low.
Needs to be careful, Spike Carapace pop. There's the impale onto this Brewmaster from
Underlord's
Kaka.
coming. They're
Yeah,
coming.
Ori in trouble, but surviving the armor toggles and eventually will fall. Pit of Malice as well as the Rod of Aegis, the Mystic Snake Throne.
Oh,
5
God,
euros
Roche
here
is
for the
so
Dire,
low.
and Roche, yeah, ripe for the taken. Can they even get in on this? They have Primal Split, maybe, but they're just going to let it go.
Yeah,
That's
they don't have
unfortunate.
meta. If they had meta, they would have gone for it, but meta's still on cooldown for another 20 seconds. They just have to stand there and watch. It was a little bit suspicious that I think Huskar had like, it was like a sunken cost fallacy at that point, because he was like, everyone knows I'm doing this, but I can't leave now. I might as well just finish it, and you know, I could probably kill it in time. Because he took it down like a quarter HP. At that point, like, the enemy team's gonna either take it from you, or you're gonna take it before they show up. So he just went for it, goes down, and that's a huge setback for him, though. Aegis goes the way of the Medusa, and she's at a stage where she's willing to do something with this Aegis. This isn't just like a passive farming Aegis, this is like a let's go take objectives Aegis, because they have not taken a single tower yet, and that needs to change soon.
Sudafist searing chains onto the Brewmaster. He's rooted up. Spike Carapace comes out, but the dust is on to the Nyx Assassin. 4 heroes trying to run away with the Fortune's End onto Yang.
Well, they have meta up, but the problem is you're fighting into an Aegis Medusa now.
He's might even just try to wait out that Aegis and farm this butterfly. Not too
Yeah,
far
they've
away
been
from
so
it.
good at stacking these ancients for him. And yet, even with that, Paparazzi he still has like a solid 2k net worth advantage, but most of that is probably coming from the towers, is like I said. Dire have yet to take a single tower, and Old 11 is not going to be able to
Radiant's
TP out
bottom
bot lane.
tower is under attack.
Big stack here for Yi.
Or you go, wow, everyone TP's bot.
They get another
He's the
kill on
Underlord.
Old 11. It's the 4th time he's died, but it's been a while since his last death, which was earlier in the laning phase.
Radiant's bottom tower.
They can proceed up this tier 2 if they want. They have wards from the Shadow Shaman, they have meta available, and they're smoking up.
If they can find the right position, they can kill Dark, and then from there,
Dark's
potentially
the
get a
last person
tower.
they want to find. It would
You'd
take
be
way
tanking
too
the
long to
gank.
kill this Abaddon through borrowed
Dire's
time.
bottom tower is under attack.
And there's the impale that hits onto the Oracle. They'll be okay. They pressure back Vici, who are unable to make much progress on the tier 2 tower.
Dire's
King
middle
Gaming
tower
actually
is under attack.
potentially looking to fight.
I feel like Vici are making this more complicated than they need it to be. Like, just go down the lane, activate meta, use Serpent Wards. You have a Primal Split as well, so even though there is a Medusa with an Aegis, just, you know, Cyclone her. Don't even, just ignore her completely. So they have all these cooldowns available, and they're not using them. They're just giving more and more time to this Medusa. And I'm pretty sure that he will be able to outscale Terrorblade fairly soon. She's been, you know, consistently like 2k net worth behind, but I don't know. I think a butterfly, or the Scotty on her is a bigger spike than the butterfly on the Terrorblade.
Butterfly is here for the TB. Firestorm comes out. They are starting to pressure with these illusions, but again, it's this kind of poke and prod from Vici in the bottom lane so far. Not really fully committing. Or he's got the Heaven's Halberd too, so yeah, maybe that's the item they could have been waiting for. As 5, you know, have that Halberd, put it on the Medusa.
Yeah, I suppose. And then they can, you know, instead use the Cyclone on Old Chicken. It's just that they have so many tools, and they're not taking advantage of them.
a tough game in terms of finding that confidence to fight for both teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it because a fight, even one fight at this point in the game, if it were to go wrong for Vici, is it just so costly that they might be a little hesitant?
That's the other thing. I don't think that's the case because Keen don't have like a super strong push like a Terrorblade where you just win a fight and then immediately you can just mow down like 2 lanes. That is not really how Keen Gaming's team operates. Keen Gaming are more slow burn. You know, let this Ember Spirit farm up with his Maelstrom. Get a lot of Sleight of Fist farming done in the jungle. Keep stacking up for this Medusa. She's basically like 70 gold away from her Scotty being completed. Whereas Vici Gaming can get objectives done very, very quickly. And they're also very dependent on making sure that the enemy team doesn't have BKBs. Because once BKBs come out, then a lot of Vici Gaming becomes useless. Shadow Shaman loses a lot of his efficacy. So does the Brewmaster as well. And a lot of the damage coming from the Huskar, like a lot of it is from the Burning Spears. Him being able to get a disarm off before people are BKBing. I don't know. A Huskar is not a hero that you want to have to be like, okay, yeah, 40 minutes. Now it's the time for Huskar. It's usually 20, 30 minutes that is Huskar's prime time.
It seems like Vici have timed up this Aegis, so they smoke almost immediately on it being reclaimed. They'll head over towards bottom where they know the Medusa has been farming a majority of the time. They place a ward over, and again, it's Dark who they find, who you said they would really prefer not to find. He's got the borrowed time popped, and the Impale thrown at Faye, but it will force him to blink away. Dark back to full health. And again, they just don't find anything with it. Kaka able to move south, and Vici, I would say, at least for them, they didn't pop the meta,
he's
which
gonna
is
get
nice.
evacuated.
Oh, the Uber's here.
Zoop. And another failed invasion by Vici Gaming, buying yet more time for Keen Gaming. I don't know. I don't know why they're not just grouping up around a tower. They seem so intent on being like, we gotta get a pick off first. I refuse to take a tower if we don't get a pick off. And Shaman has had Serpent Wards on cooldown. I mean, on the bright side, he's gonna have level 12 Serpent Wards probably by the time that he actually casts it, and then it'll be off cooldown. But, I don't know. They're being so apprehensive. A lot of faith in Paparazzi's Terrorblade, I suppose. That he will carry you, no matter how late the game goes.
And going into the Satanic, he's farmed quite a bit. He's still just 2,000 net worth ahead of the Medusa, who's going into the MKB or the BKB. We'll see which one he chooses to go for first. Kaka spots Yang, and they've got the sentry down. Spike Carapace used preemptively. Blink, Thunderclap in between 4 heroes. Gets the primal split off, and now the Serpent Wards are dropped down with the Rod of Atos being thrown to the Shadow Shaman. The Impale will follow it up. So the Shackle is no longer there onto the Medusa. Spike Carapace on a Paparazzi. He's used this metamorphosis. He's committed. And Vici, they're again a little bit hesitant to go all in and back off. They'll lose Yang.
They lose Yang, they lose their Serpent Wards, they lose Metamorphosis as well, and at the minimum Vici are gonna get 3 bounty runes. Paparazzi, let's see if he goes to the high ground for the 4th one. Oh, okay, no, he's not going to. He's gonna send an illusion? No, he's not. Yeah, so that... Oh man, and now Kaka wants to find stuff. And they could go on this. Old Chicken is eager to help out.
Spike Carapace, Hex comes out. Shadow Shaman, Shackle onto the Nyx Assassin. Fortune's End will hit both of them.
They still want to fight. The
really
rest of the
tough,
team is coming.
yeah.
Oracle's
DY.
gonna die.
He's dead, and now they'll go after Ori. They're continuing to chase. Old Chicken moves forward. He's got the Medusa behind him. He's coming in, searing chains, and Ori moving back. In this tier 2, the False Promise comes in from the buying back Oracle, and now they're trying to turn it around. The borrowed time is popped on Dark. He's trying to get out. Old 11, the Uber's been called and gets everybody out of there. Come on, get in, get out of here.
That's an Uber pool right there. It could have gone a lot worse. Huskar managed to be able to life break after the Vendetta break connected, so he dispelled the break, and it got him just enough time that Oracle was able to get the False Promise on him. But he was very, very close to dying. and it's just gonna get harder and harder for Vici Gaming. The window is closing for them to be able to outscale this Medusa. You saw how long she was inside a Serpent Ward trap with a Metamorphosis Terrorblade with Manta style illusions wailing on her,
Radiant's
but
top tower is
she
under
already picked up her
attack.
Scotty. She already has such a high mana pool that the Terrorblade couldn't burn through it in time. And she's about to hit level 20, have a Mystic Snake cooldown talent most likely. Rod almost connects on the Brewmaster, but he gets out.
It was
And
also
Roche
the
gonna
path
respawn
that
at 45
Paparazzi
seconds.
took in that little tree area. It seemed a little bit odd. He was over very far to the right.
When are you referring
In
to?
the mid fight, but ooh, Shackle out through onto the Underlord. The Pit of Malice will be dropped as Ori jumps in, trying to get the kill. The Stone Gaze will be used. Paparazzi with the Metamorphosis, but he's turned to stone, just like the ELO song, and now
Chain
surrounded
disable.
with the Searing Chain. Sunder comes through, but it doesn't give him a lot. Manta, and will end up falling to Yi, so they get the kill into the Terrorblade. This is the first time it's been a full-out fight from
He
Paparazzi,
sundered
and he
the
dies.
Ember. I feel like he targeted that Sunder like
Radiant structures are
way
fortified.
earlier than it ended up being cast, because I don't know why you wouldn't just use it on the Medusa. Unless if you thought that she had a Lincolns or something, but she
Radiant's
doesn't.
middle
She's not even
tower
like
is
building
under
it.
attack.
So not that it would have mattered, he was gonna die
Radiant's
regardless,
middle
but
tower is falling.
whatever the case, this Medusa is taking no damage whatsoever in any of these fights. I think it's just in Brewmaster's best interest to just cycle on her. Forget about, oh wow, Nix has an Aghanim Scepter. Forget about trying to deal with her just like initiating. Because no matter how good your initiation is, you're not going to be able to burn through all of her mana shield and all of her HP. It's just way too much. So just get rid of her for the early half of the fight, let the Terrorblade and the Huskar bully someone else like the Ember Spirit, and then worry about killing off the Medusa after the rest of her team is dead.
Now Medusa with an Aegis.
And Ember with, or wait, who took the cheese?
Underlord.
Oh, Underlord took the cheese, okay. I'm sure he's probably just keeping it for now. He'll give that to the Medusa eventually.
Let's see if he holds it. He's going for Heaven's Halberd, too.
The Courier gets shielded. Dire's gonna be able
Dire's
to,
courier
nope, never
has
mind.
been
Oh,
killed.
Rip.
Demon Edge on it, too.
That was the MKB, I believe. Yeah, that was Medusa's
Finishing
MKB.
touches on it.
Oh well, minor setback, but Keen Gaming are still in an amazing position right now.
Up to only 2,000 net worth, but again, we've seen these fights, the hesitancy coming from Vici, and Keen Gaming taking full advantage. Now ahead, just a slight bit, but with an Aegis in their hands. And the few fights that Vici have looked like they were going to come out the victors, Underlord's there.
Yep.
Uberpool
Hex.
comes in. Pit of Malice. Got the rod, and Ori in a lot of trouble. The Fortune's End. Stone Gaze used. Paparazzi thinking about going in, as Ori needs to try and find an escape, but DY already
what a
dead, so
no.
no false promise. That's putting Ori in a lot of trouble. The Sleight
Yo,
of
these
Fist
armlet
still
toggles.
alive. Yeah, he's toggling amazingly. The Impale comes through. Dark coming in, and now he's got the borrowed time. Ori finally falls. Sunder through onto the Ember, but the Impale again, stunning up Paparazzi. The Mantle will be used. He's out of mana, out of health. 4 euros dead, looking possibly like a fifth in the Impale once more from Kaka. Keen Gaming with the full team wipe. They lose nothing.
Kaka is absolutely. They didn't even use the shrine. The shrine was there the entire time. They didn't even need to activate it. Kaka's absolutely my MVP for this game. His laning phase, being able to weave in and out, help out his Medusa, but not take too much away from her in terms of experience, was great. He's been able to get so many setups. And even in game one, he was doing such a good job carepacing the Alchemist's Radiance. So, I don't know, Kaka is absolutely been phenomenal for Keen Gaming.
Hashtag Kaka for MVP vote.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And this Huskar is looking like utterly useless. It was really stylish, his armlet toggles, and maybe once he completes the Satanic, the status resistance will be useful enough. But both him and the Terrorblade are really banking on that status resistance winning them the game. They may not have enough time though as they are proceeding up high ground. And another route into Rod, another route into Impale.
It just seemed like by the time they wanted to do something on Vici, Huskar wasn't really the important target for Keen. It was just take out the Terrorblade, everything else will fall over once we do. And that is a long-range stun onto the Shadow Shaman to get the kill on a Fade. Dead for 44. They got the tier 3. He does have buyback. They don't have Metamorphosis for 47 seconds. The Pit of Malice and then the Rod of Atos. Again, in the Searing Chains. You're not allowed to go far. Take the mid-set racks.
And they are still basically full everything, so they will continue. As they almost get the Rod onto December, they will take this tier 2 bot though, as the top lane still has a tier 1 remaining. And Yang, he has split, really does not want to have to use it here. He may just die inside of it.
Comes out
so
anyway.
much damage. They kill
Already
the
taking out 2
potential
bears.
Invis. Oh, and the carapace on the life break, so even the Huskar can't do anything.
Ori trying to come in, save Yang. False promise, staying alive for a little bit longer. The Stone Gaze is used. He's turned to stone, so he's not really right-clicking anybody. The Metamorphosis will be used by Paparazzi. Again, now out of mana. DY falls. Ori's going to be next to drop. And then Yang falls, and GG is called. 2-0 for Keen Gaming. Congratulations. You're going to Disneyland.
Wow. Paparazzi gets one vengeance kill at the 11th hour, but it's too little too late. What an actually, this game I think is more on Vici Gaming. Vici handled this game to Keen. Kaka played amazingly, but at the same time, Vici were just like twiddling their thumbs for way too long. There were so many opportunities where they had all of their ultimates available, they had Metamorphosis available, and they would be so tunnel vision on getting a pick. And they're like, unless we get a pick, we are not going to take an objective. And Keen are not necessarily the kind of team that a pick is that valuable. Half the time they were running into Dark, and this Abaddon, like I said, is not a viable pick-off target whatsoever. And then, what? If you run into an Underlord, there's potential for him to just all the way go back to the base and take other people with him. Ember Spirit is way too mobile with his remnants. Medusa has Stone Gaze, and Nyx Assassin has Vendetta. So it wasn't the right game plan for Keen Gaming's lineup. Against Keen Gaming's lineup for Vici Gaming, and yet again they make enough space for their Medusa, and it was pretty straightforward from there. But definitely MVP to Kaka. Excellent performance this entire series.
He did so much in this game too, and Abaddon, not only does he have that, that early miscoil that really helps out your position 1, but even later in the game where he was the victim of a gank, or sometimes not even a victim of a gank, he's got the borrowed time. He is the best support to tank ganks because he almost half the time doesn't even die, and the smoke's been used, and the other team comes out getting nothing. And it seemed to frustrate Vici to the point where, like you said, they tunnel visioned in, and it just kind of fell apart for them. They waited too long. Medusa had too much, and it almost seemed like the Huskar, because the game plan didn't really come online for Vici quickly enough, because they were looking for those picks and not getting those full out 5-on-5s, the Huskar wasn't really doing anything.
Yeah, he was picked to win the lane, wasn't able to because he was basically 2v1ing, and also had a weird skill build. I'm not a fan of Berserker's Blood at 1, and this game did not justify it for me. But even beyond that, never was able to find any pickoff opportunities, and it ultimately was not the best 10th pick, it seemed.
Yeah, it did not work out in their favor, and Vici down into the lower bracket they'll go, I think, against eHome. And that should be a good one. That's tomorrow, but the next best of 3 is LGD versus Newbie. We'll be back with that in just a moment. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations, King Gaming. You're going to Disneyland. You get to do the Super Bowl winning, what are you going to do now? I'm going to Disneyland.
VP lost to this. VP lost to Vici. Classic
major
Chinese
fluke.
team. Major fluke, that's right.
I understand.
Yeah, they're qualified to TI and they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. It's tough. Though, like we said earlier, they've been playing Dota for so long straight with no breaks.
True.
Is it burnout, or is it just a little bit of bad play, or a little bit of both? It really could be. There's already somebody in chat at Vici Fluke Major. Shout out to that guy. But we'll be back in just a moment with the next series. Stay right there.